Picture this, it is Saturday morning, you've had your lie on, you've flicked on the kettle, and now it's time to bake something delicious. I have the recipe for you, raspberry scones. It's an absolute classic, one of the most easy bakes you can make. So it starts off in a bowl with some self-raising flour. We're gonna get in there with some Kerrygold Irish butter, and you wanna make sure that it's nice and cold. And the brilliant thing about this recipe is that it relies on that delicious flavor from the butter. Dive in there with your fingers. This is looking really good now. I've got my butter mixed through the flour, and just to give it an extra rise, I'm gonna add another touch of some baking powder in here. Get in there with some caster sugar for some sweetness, about 100 grams going in here. Give it a quick mix through. You're with me so far, it's looking pretty good. So time to get on with our wet ingredients. I've got some milk, and to our jug of milk, we're gonna add 2 large free-range eggs. Lovely little plop there. And that is it. So simple. Dry ingredients, wet ingredients, now it's time to combine them. So make a little well in the center of your bowl, and we're gonna pour the wet mixture into this. I'm just using the knife to cut through the mixture so that you get a nice even distribution of the wet ingredients amongst the dry ingredients. It's time to get in there with half our raspberries. Now, you can use whatever fruit you like here. I love raspberries in the summertime. I think they're lovely. Blueberries work really well here. Chop up a few strawberries, it works. Just cut them through so you get a nice swirl. And then turn this mixture out onto some flour on your surface board, and just remove the flour there, and just scrape that mixture out. Give it a good sprinkle of some flour. So just pat it out to about 1 centimetre in thickness. You don't actually need a rolling pin because it's quite smooth, quite movable. So now it's time to cut that out, and I have a 5 centimetre to 6 centimetre cutter, which I've just dipped in some flour, and this will make sure that your scones don't stick to your cutter. So get straight in there. Look at these, 8 lovely raspberry scones. I'm going to transfer them onto a baking sheet. I have one lined with some parchment, so just transfer them across. Leave them enough space so they have room to spread and grow and be lovely. The very last thing I need to do before these go in the oven is just to brush them with a little bit of that leftover milk and egg, which is in the bottom of this jug. And that is it, but I can't resist but just to sprinkle them with a tiny touch of some brown sugar just over the top. It'll give a lovely crispy top, make it nice and golden and a bit crunchy too. These are now ready to go into the oven at 220 degrees Celsius, quite a high temperature, but they're going to cook very quickly for about 12 to 15 minutes until they're risen and golden.